like John Morant. Need a triple-double. Told him check the stats. Yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball. Now I never fumble. I'm the MVP. Now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant. Need a triple-double. Told him check the stats. Yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball. Now I never fumble. I'm the MVP. Now I feel like Russell. Yeah, I need it now. Told him on the lay. I've been moving, dog. Yeah, I'm on the way. I don't hear the talk. Don't care what they say. I don't got no patience. I can't ever wait. I've been trying to get it. Running up all these digits. And I've been in the gym. I've been up doing minutes. I just put in that work. Told him it's strictly business. And I see through the face. They all just burning bridges. Feel like John Morant. Need a triple-double. Told him check the stats. Yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball. Now I never fumble. I'm the MVP. Now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant. Need a triple-double. Told him check the stats. Yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball. Now I never fumble. I'm the MVP. Now I feel like Russell. Yeah, they don't want it, dog, like I want it, dog. Yeah, they say they want it, then they took the summer off. I've been going down the list, checking numbers off. I was checking on your numbers, told them something's off. I was at the bottom, now you know I'm climbing. Now they sending deals, they know I ain't signing. They been trying to sell it, they know I ain't buying. When they send a text, dog, I ain't replying. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell.
Yeah, head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test, now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. It's time to dress, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve, stress, shield my greed. That's how I get it, success ain't no giving. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. They don't want it when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem. I ain't perfect, let them watch me. Elevating, got them nauseous. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the house and whoo. Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead. Watch how set it up. Bet you I shut it down, watch out, get a win. I don't think they really wanna come against the winner. Got a finger run up in on a grenade. I ain't never been there when you think you compare. I'm a line, but the winner about the cage. I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get it, no call and quits. Yeah, gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets. Yeah, better move out the way cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand, yeah. I got the team by my side, right hand, yeah. Take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that, yeah. And it's the dream, and we coming for the bag, yeah. And we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Tony D, we should have gone with 61K incoming on the thumbnail, but that's okay, guys. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another amazing live stream. We got an awesome show for you guys tonight as Bitcoin is getting a pretty hard bounce here. Now, again, we don't just want to go full-blown bullish all-time highs incoming as we've been talking about on the live stream. But as you guys know, we were looking at some things specifically on the daily and the 90-minute for a potential local move to the upside, targeting first 58K. I don't think we look at this. We did look at this level on the live stream, but we were focused on 58K yesterday. But as you guys know, that bigger level of resistance was coming in around $61,000 to $62,000, where we had a macro golden pocket with the value area low of the range. We're going to be taking a look at all that. If you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you right now. But I want to talk about that signal, guys, because I always talk about that Market Cypher B daily 90-minute strategy. And it's a super simple strategy, and it does play out very, very well oftentimes. So we're going to go over that as well and talk about some other targets for Bitcoin. If we can crack this level of resistance, where we may be looking next. Are we long-term bullish now? Are we looking for all-time highs? What is going on? I'm going to break it all down on tonight's live stream. So shout out to the CandleMafia. Thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate every single one of you guys for spending your precious time here with your boy, Frankie Candles, and the rest of the CandleMafia. Shout out to Seth Shepard. What is going on? We got Billy Goattails in the chat. What is going on? BGT, as some people like to call him. Let's see. We got Mikey20, AC. AC Slater in the chat saying dump it. We will be taking a look at the bullish and the bearish case here, and I'll let you guys know which way I'm leaning. Shout out to Creighton C, said full bullish, all-time highs incoming, never mind. Yo, shout out to Creighton C. But yeah, as we talked about, we'll get into it in a second. Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Servando Estrada says, I'm here for the salsa, Frankie. Shout out to Servando. Thank you for being here, bro. Always happy to see you in here. We got K Bank says, sup all. What is going on? Thank you for being here. We got Keith DMB Smurf. We got Captain Kirk, who just ordered her Sergeant clothes. Cap, are you going to change your YouTube name to Sergeant Kirk? And we got to call you Sarge now, right? I think that is how it works. So shout out to Captain Kirk. Captain Kirk, congratulations on your Sarge position. We appreciate you for being here, and you'll always be CandleMafia Mama, even if you're a sergeant. But yeah, shout out to Bullish on Parade, Donato Cabrera, AC, I think we shouted out AC Slater, K Diggity out here for the GOATs. And with all that being said, guys, don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get gives you guys some free chances to win some free crypto. So smash out that like button if you guys like free money. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. So here we are on the Bitcoin chart, guys, and what I want to talk about here is, it's funny, I was dancing with the 61K incoming here. Not really a far target, but as you guys know, I'm going to talk about two things I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the local price action. Again, that 90-minute daily setup that we saw yesterday, looking for that potential continuation up, some of the key levels we were watching, kind of how we got to where we are right now, and what we could potentially expect coming up soon. Now, obviously, guys, if we turn, let me get rid of that line, pull up here. I do want to pull up, where is it? Right here, right? So we did have this little volume profile sitting just above yesterday. We got that kind of little dump during the live stream where I was in a scalp short position. As you guys know, I wasn't really super confident on that playing out. Actually played out more than I originally thought. But as you guys know, as we were looking here, we were looking up towards $58,000 as we had this naked value area above, and we knew once we got back inside this value area low, it was going to be more likely to get up to that POC and value area high, sitting closer to between $58,000 and $59,000. And obviously, we hopped up in there, went to the value area high, and we actually got a little bit of a breakout here, bringing us up to and these are pretty local levels, guys, to be quite honest with you. But really, the bigger targets that we have in mind are the ones that are popping up right here. Let me get rid of this. I can redraw this anytime, so I'll just get rid of that. Looking for price to retrace into that value area low, golden pocket confluence, and we were looking at this, kind of comparing it to this last dump to $53,000 that we got, where you do not want to be getting super bearish after a gigantic dump, and you're not looking to short the lows here. I mean, obviously, I wasn't that scalp short yesterday, but that was in the context of a lower time frame, not looking for price to break down there. Just looking to capitalize on those little moves down before the continuation up. And some of the things that we were looking at here to anticipate this move is, number one, we had the hard dump here, right? We came into that 51 to 52K level where we had that monthly naked point of control, and then we still need to be looking at this, right? Or me personally, I am looking at this as a potential retracement for a potential lower high and a continuation to the downside. And, we can change the sentiment here if we do see some certain things kind of present themselves. If we start getting above some really key levels, we can then just look way higher, in which case, the higher daily time frame money flow may wind up faking out. But as of right now, it does not look like it is faking out just yet. So, we still have to look at the markets in terms of potential bearish continuations. And to be quite honest with you guys, if we saw this money flow, and I want to talk about the higher, really macro kind of analysis here, because I get a lot of questions about, Frankie, do you think the bull market is still on? Every time we get a significant dump here, people are like, is the bull market over? And as you guys know, we do not think that. Oftentimes, the people who are, feeling like the bull market is over here, are just people who bought the top, right? Resale comes in and buys the top every single time. And we're retail too. I'm not saying that we're not retail. But, if you're new to the market, oftentimes you'll see that big pump and be like, oh my God, Bitcoin's going to $1 million. They buy in. And then any dump from these highs feels like it's all over, right? But, if you're buying in at the bottom of the bear market, this is obviously just looking like a little retracement. Now, the question is will the bull market be over, if we do wind up coming back down? And you guys know we do have some lower targets here, which I know is never the favorite here. And we're going to look at the higher targets as well. But, oh, Mrs. Candle's in the chat. Come on over here, Mrs. Candles. Let's see that hand. Mrs. Candles, low-key, I think is trying to get me sick because my body is exhausted right now, guys. It's fighting off a sickness. Oh, okay. Let's see the hand. Is it limp? Does it get limp when it's sick? Let me see. Oh, okay. Bring it in here. I can't sniff it today, guys. I'll waft it. Come on, let me waft the hand. Come on, let me waft it. Okay, sorry. She won't let me. There's a Mrs. Candle's hands. She won't let me waft her hands, guys. How disappointing is that? But anyway, the hands in chat are crazy. But as we continue on here, guys, if we did get a bigger dump, again, I want to talk about the bullish and the bearish case. Mrs. Candle's just throwing money at me. But if we did get a bigger crash down, I want to talk about kind of what I would look at down here. Is that, starting to get really bearish? Could we see a bigger move down? And I really want to talk about that because in the grand scheme of things, guys, even if we came down here, I'll just say this. I am not really worried about things. We're in a strong uptrend. We could still maintain bullish market structure if we do wind up coming down to this level. The hands are killing me. The nose emoji. Oh, my God. No hand love. Shout out to Presser Drop. I know, right? Unbelievable. She just depriving me of those hand sniffs. But I want to talk about that in a minute, guys. But first, let's go over these local levels, right? So we came up to that local volume profile we just talked about. We got the breakout, and that next major level of resistance that we've been looking at is sitting here between $61 and about $62,000. Now, I will bring up the liquidation heat maps on high block in just a minute because we do have some liquidation sitting above here as well, which we all know not only will act as a target, but could potentially give us a some kind of a setup to look for a short position. So as we get up here, approaching key resistance, right? It's funny that we wound up moving as soon as I put the live up. Otherwise, I probably would have changed the title a little bit. As now we are tapping key resistance, right? But this is going to be the next key level. Now, why is that? Obviously, we have that golden pocket retracement. When pulled, let me pull this actually up here. When pulled from the, not the all-time high, but from the high here where we got the rejection, all the way down to this low down here at about $49,000. And this is where, we are looking at this in terms, right? Because if you look at the the higher time frames, like the 4-day, right? Money flow is still coming out. VWAP is coming up, right? So there is definitely, like I was saying last night, I am more in favor of a continuation up here, but we have to keep those goggles on because if this money flow continues into the red, we would have to look at this as what? I know someone's going to say it. As a lackluster move to the upside for a potential lower high. We don't know where that lower high is going to come in just yet, but we know that golden pocket 786 are the levels to be watching. But, we could look at this as a potential lackluster push to the upside. If we are going to get a rejection and come back down to those lower prices and see the more bearish situation play out here, these are going to be the big levels that I'm looking at with that golden pocket value area low. This is obviously a strong bounce. So you're not just like shorting here because we tapped the level. You have to see some kind of confirmation. But, those are the two major levels that we'll look at, right? Because we're going to get that rejection. This is likely the zone that rejection will happen, that rejection will come in at, right? So come in, put in the lower high, and then break structure to the downside once again. And I'm going to talk about, if you should be worried about Bitcoin if we do that, but that is kind of what I'm looking at in the long term. So again, I do think the continuation up can continue here, just like we were looking at yesterday, as we do have some of the medium hourly time frame money flow coming up. You can see the 2-hour continuing up here. And yesterday, specifically what we were looking at here on the chart was the potential green dot printing here on the daily with that 90-minute money flow crossover into the green. And if you guys take a look here, let me zoom in and get that exact 90-minute money flow crossover popped up here. And you guys can see here, right? Yesterday, we were kind of getting that rejection on the live stream when I was in the short position, and then we got that move up. And then once that 90-minute money flow crosses over into the green, this is where I was looking for a potential continuation up to these higher levels, right? That first level was actually 58 to 59K. And obviously, if we continued, that next key level was this golden pocket where we are sitting right now. So just, I want to show this because especially if you are new to trading and you're new to Market Cypher, this is a very, very simple trading strategy that you can use to try to predict where you're going to get a big move up. And specifically, you can use different time frames. But for this one, it was the daily and the 90-minute. And you can see, as soon as that 90-minute money flow crosses over, you wind up getting that bigger move to the upside, right, of about 7%. So not too shabby there. So yeah, nice little simple strategy that you guys can keep an eye on. So this is kind of that first major level of resistance. So yeah, the golden pocket, value area low. If we do, right, wind up getting above this level, because this is kind of clean now, right? Because if we do wind up coming up here, right, the next likely place for price to go once you're above that value area low is going to be the POC, where we know we have the 786 just in between, right? So POC is sitting here. Let me go ahead and mark this out. Bada boom, sitting at about 66.4. Pretty close to the $67,000 PLC that we're used to looking at. But, if we get above that golden pocket, the next target I would be looking at is going to be about 64 to 65K. It's going to be another very, very, very significant level of resistance. And then if we're able to get over that, typically, guys, this is where I would say, hey, this is the invalidation for the lower high, and we could potentially just continue off into new all-time highs, or at least up to the value area high. But we do have that POC just above. So you could technically look at this as like one giant zone of resistance, because if you break the 786, you do have the POC right above you. But I have them separated right now. But the POC is also obviously going to be very key, right? So if we get above this golden pocket, I would definitely expect a continuation to at least the 786. And if we don't get the big rejection there, we could easily see a move to the POC. And if we flip that POC, you just have the nice context of this volume profile. So just really, really clean stuff here, right? Almost the same exact situation we were in right up down here when we came down to 53K, right? We came down. Everyone thought it was going to zero. You look for the bounce. But in terms of a retracement to potentially put in the lower high, which at the time we have the key levels here. They're obviously different than these because this is a different fib. But we wound up getting that push down lower, right? And, I said this like almost on every stream. People don't like hearing this, guys. But look what happened. We wound up coming down, tapping that level perfectly, and the charts played out once again, even if it hurts the bulls' feelings, because sometimes I don't want price to go down either. But again, the charts tell us it's going down. That's what we're going to stick with. But right now, I will say, guys, we are in a little bit of an interesting situation because every time we get a bounce here, a move down here and a hard bounce, we have to look at it as that potential retracement into these levels. And hopefully this last dump, retracement, and break of structure to the downside kind of shows you, like, even though this feels mega bullish, still the TA just wound up playing out and bringing you back down. So it doesn't guarantee that that's what we're going to see happen here, but you have to at least keep an open mind that this could be the bearish scenario, right? That could be a possibility. But we have to look at the bullish case as well. So, again, higher time frames could point to that bearish scenario. However, if we are going to just see this, and this is something I was going to show yesterday, but I never really did, right? In this bull market, right, we have seen quite a few dips here, right? So from the bottom all the way to the high here, you can see if I pull this up, I'm actually going to get rid of the fib levels. We've had a couple of significant retracements, right? We had this big wick to the downside, and this kind of brings us back to that price action getting a big leg up, sideways consolidation, right? Wash out of the lows, big move up, sideways consolidation. Big wash out of the longs, your next move up, sideways consolidation, right? Big wash out of the longs, big move up, consolidation. Is this that one big wick to the downside before washing out the longs, or the big wick to the downside to wash out the longs and get that bigger move to the upside? This would be the bullish scenario. And there are some things on Market Cipher B that could potentially be pointing towards this, but I want to be extremely explicit here. Money flow is not calling for that. Money flow is calling for the bearish scenario. So we are seeing some kind of mixed signals here, because if we look here, undo all this, right? And I just measured out these wicks a little bit here. Back here in March, we had that big washout of about 11% liquidation wick here, a 9-10% liquidation wick here, almost an 8% liquidation wick here, and then a 13% liquidation wick here. So this is even bigger in size than these other liquidation wicks. But every time we see one of those big liquidation events, this one being the biggest by far, I wouldn't say by far, but by a good bit, every time we see that, it does wind up turning into a bigger move to the upside. And to be honest with you guys, if I go ahead and hide this just to clean up the chart a bit, there are some signals here on Market Cipher B that could call for that continuation, because there is a bullish case and a bearish case here. And to be honest, as we are moving up here, I could be looking at this as a retracement to potentially continue down. But you want to be prepared. The market will not always, just because we have money flow coming out, does not guarantee that bearish scenario is going to play out. Even though it worked back here, it doesn't guarantee it's going to play out. So you want to keep an open mind to the bullish case as well. And to be honest with you guys, for me, money flow in the higher time frames is definitely leaning a bit more bearish. But, I'm not just going to sit on my hands and be like, I'm only looking for shorts, I'm never going to long because of market structure. It's not 100% kind of set up there, because eventually, the money flow is going to work out until it gets faked out, right? So one thing that we are seeing here that is a pretty good point for the bulls here is as we came down to that 51 to 52K level, we washed out that 50K level, that psychological $50,000 with a nice little bullish divergence here on the daily time frame. We looked at this yesterday, obviously, when we were looking at this bullish case, expecting at least a local continuation up, which we're seeing right now. But you have that bullish divergence on the daily into a key level of support. And if you pull up the 2-day here, you could potentially be setting up for that trigger wave and a green dot to print here on the 2-day as well. And if we print that, this does not negate the bearish money flow here. But there's nothing really saying that this money flow can't print, or you can't print the 2-day bull div right? And then have that money flow come back up into the green. So this is a situation you want to keep an eye on because this is definitely, a sign of at least some kind of a bullish reversal. And as we are only, 15% away from our previous high, if that daily bull div keeps bringing us up into this volume profile, and then we see that 2-day bull div print in a few days here, or maybe tomorrow, that could easily give us some more fuel to the upside. So there is definitely a bullish and a bearish case here. In my opinion, it's a bit better than this move to the downside over here on the 4th of July, because we're a little deeper into that money flow crossover. Right here was a fresh money flow crossover, which would indicate a likely continuation down. And not that this doesn't point towards a likely continuation down, but it's nice that, we had no bull div here on the daily, or the 2-day, I should say. I think we did have it on the daily here, right? We looked at this yesterday. Bull div, lower lows on your price action, higher lows on your momentum waves, and then you get the retracement. But what happened? You put the lower high in. So you have to keep, the general sentiment here, guys, is you could put that lower high in, but we're in a bull market, right? So, if we do get faked out on money flow, it wouldn't be the most shocking thing in the world. So, more than ever, I would definitely recommend kind of keeping somewhat of a neutral. Again, money flow is pointing to the downside. I have to kind of lean with that until it's proven otherwise, just based off my trading rules and how I do the TA. But I am keeping an open mind to the continuation to the upside, especially with the XRP lawsuit news that happened. It could actually add a little bit more fuel to this push up. So there you go, right? Bull div on the daily, 2-day bull div. And then again, this lower time frame or medium time frame money flow, such as the 3-hour, the 2-hour is starting to come up, crossing over into the green, which would make it, at least locally, a likely continuation to the upside, right? Whether that brings in to give you the lower high continuation down or not, we'll have to wait for price to get up there. If we get the bear, it's too soon to see if we're getting the bearish signals up here just yet. But, fresh 80-minute green dot here. I'm not rushing into any short positions here. That is for dang sure, especially with the 2-hour money flow, right? That's going to continue up. You could expect, maybe get a pullback, but you could expect a little bit of a continuation to the upside. So higher time frame levels are going to remain bada boom. Where are we? Come on. There we go, right? So these are the higher time frame levels. Let me grab that. Why are my volume profiles just disappearing constantly? There we go. Bada boom, right? So these are the key levels. We break that golden pocket. 65K, 64.5 is probably the next stop. And then, maybe we kind of come up in here, play around. But this is the key level. This zone right here between 60,931 and about 62K. We got to flip that to support to get the continuation. And if we do get a cool off, it wouldn't be shocking to happen at this key level, right? But again, right now, with the way money flow looks on the lower time frames, it's not necessarily indicative of just a massive dump back down to lower prices here. I would probably lean a little bit more bullish in the medium term. So there you go. That's what I'm looking at here on Bitcoin, guys. Now, one more thing I want to talk about is just the higher time frames once more, and talk about kind of what we're seeing here, right? Is the bull market going to continue, right? In my opinion, right, it likely is. Even if we do see the bearish scenario play out, if we do wind up seeing this, be that lackluster push to the upside to put that lower high in and continue down. I wouldn't expect to bring down to 31K, but that next real key level is sitting at around $47,000. So I pull up that. Actually, let me pull up right here. So as you guys can see here, this is still somewhat of a bull flag, right? So this would, technically break up more than it would break down. And, we did come down to some key resistance. Not only was it this naked value area, but it's also, we washed out that psychological $50,000 level, right? Just kind of scare everybody out. Oh my God, Bitcoin's breaking 50K, sell it all. And then you get the heavy bounce. So if we were to come up and put this lower high in and come back to the downside, the next key level, which we've talked about before, is coming in the 40s, right? Between about, I would call it 49, I would call it between 47K is really the main level, right? $47,000. If we're able to come down into this zone, you do have that naked value area as well as this macro golden pocket between about $49,000 and $42,000. And here's the thing, right? If you did see this happen, which again, we are getting a hard bounce. I'm not calling for this, right? But again, if that money flow plays out, we do put that lower high in like we did back here. This is the next level to look at, right? And if we did get down here, I'm not really concerned, right? Because if we did come down there, we could still maintain bullish market structure and continue to the upside, right? So, this would be, and if we did get that move down, this would be like the scariest thing for a lot of people, especially the people who were buying up here. So, that's going to cause a lot of fear, a lot of panic, and it may even be supported by some kind of bearish scenario, bearish news, right? Which we just had a ton of bearish news, right? Like when everybody is scared, you do not, at least locally, right? When everyone's scared, everything's dumping. Oh my God, you get the Japan news, you get the Middle East news, all this crazy stuff. That is not necessarily where you want to start putting in your shorts. shorts. If you were looking for bigger shorts and you think those narratives are going to continue bringing price down, you want to at least wait for the retracement and then find those key levels of resistance like we were just looking at for that lower high. But regardless, if we do come down here, this does not really, it's not that alarming to me, because if we did, you could easily maintain bullish market structure and continue back to the upside. And to be honest, this would scare a lot of people out of the market, right? And then maybe this is the scenario. If it does happen, that could be the scenario where, people are selling the bottom of the C19 lows before the massive bull market begins, right? Because if we do start pumping in September, it would make a lot of sense to come down there and then see that big rip. But again, we're very far away from these prices. I just want to point it out because as we approach these retracement levels that we're looking at, if you do see some kind of big dump, right? No one was expecting this unless you were looking at those retracement levels we were watching and looking down towards that 51 to 52K level as at least a possibility. It wasn't very expected, right? But we had that level down there, look for the lower high, and it came down. So if that were the case, you want to be prepared. And just if it does happen, I want the Mafia to have these levels on your chart. So if you see price dumping, you at least know where it could potentially bounce. So you're not panicking. You're like, okay, hey, maybe it's not going to zero, but maybe we're just going to tap that lower golden pocket in the 40s, right? And if that does happen, we could still maintain bullish market structure. And if we came down here, guys, I'd probably make some significant spot buys, right? Depending on what the charts looked like at the time. Like if it looked horrific down here and it would still look like a continuation was likely, maybe I wouldn't. But if we came down here, it would be a very, very good buy the dip scenario, in my opinion, if we're lucky enough to come down there, right? In a bull market, you want to look at the dips as opportunities, guys. It's not, I know there's some people, if they are looking at the bearish case here down in the 40s, it's like all gloom and doom. In my opinion, that's a buy the dip scenario for me, right? Not financial advice. But yeah. If that does happen, just to put people's minds at ease here, that wouldn't even be like the most bearish thing ever, right? Like I that would still technically be a sound place to get a strong bounce from. So just to clear that up, because I get a lot of questions: is the bull market over? And in my opinion, right, like we are far from the bull market being over, right? Again, I bought in at $20,000 to $21,000 here on Bitcoin. So like this is just basically still a sideways range / bull flag, and you want to remember that too, right? This is a bullish continuation pattern. Right? Just like we saw happen on all these. Big move up, bullish continuation, big move up, bullish continuation, big move up, bullish continuation, big move up, bullish continuation. And arguably, this is even more of a bull flag than any of these. These were more like sideways ranges, right? These are, which is still pretty much bullish continuation. But this is like a real bull flag here. So could easily see that bounce, especially because we washed out that 50K level. But now you guys have those local levels, or I shouldn't say local, I should say more macro. Bada boom, bada bing. What is going on with these levels here? So yeah, we do have those key levels above. So there you go. Locally, if we do continue up, money flow looks pretty good. Flip that level, look up to 65K. Flip that POC sitting at 66, almost 67K. Flip that POC value area high is next. And then once you start breaking out of this value area high, things could potentially shock people and give you that big move to the upside. So there you go. And then other than that, I mean, let's see, 6-day red dot still printing. And again, that weekly blood diamond, you don't want to forget about this, right? That weekly blood diamond that we have printing here is still somewhat sketchy, but who knows, right? Just because this one played out, I guess the full play out of this, technically wound up bringing you down 66%, but this was a bear market, right? Like this was very likely going to be the start of a bear market. Where we were in the cycle at this point was very different than where we are right now, right? Like if we were getting a blood diamond here, or up here, like it's a little different, right? Because where you are in the cycle is not necessarily where you're seeing a 66% dump. So I'm definitely not, if we do see that blood diamond confirm here, I'm not expecting a 66% dump, right? It would likely be much less than that if it even continues to play out, right? Because when you get bearish news, sometimes these market cipher A signals kind of just flash and then they don't confirm, or they just confirm and they just give you a big wick. So keep that in mind. But other than that, still have the weekly red dot, the 6-day red dot. But other than that, right, like that 2-day bull div with that little trigger wave here, if that prints, it could be very, very interesting here for the bulls. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Maddie says, are we now going up to 64 before the drop, Frankie? Shout out to Maddie. I do want to just point, right? There's no guarantee that we see the bearish scenario play out. Money flow is definitely pointing towards the continuation down, but that doesn't guarantee anything, right? So there's no way for me to say, guys, we are going up to 64K before a drop to the downside. There's no one on earth that can say that, right? No one can say, hey, we're going to 64K and then we're going to drop. You could use that, right, as a hypothesis. You could say, hey, if we come up here and we see bearish signals, we could expect that, right? But there's no way to 100% call for it. No one can predict the market 100%. But if, right, it's an if this, then that statement. Trading is always an if this, then that statement, right? Shout out to Crypto Max. He said 68K lower high. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the higher time frame money flow, the continuation down is a bit more likely, right? And I know it feels really bullish to see these bounces. And just to be 100% transparent, guys, it could wind up being bullish. No one knows what's going to happen, especially in crypto, right? Actually, in Nashville, I was speaking to some other stock YouTubers, right? Like technical analysts, they just focus on stocks. And they came up to me and we were talking a little bit, and shout out to them. But we were talking and they were like, hey man, like you trade all this crypto, man. We know we watch your stuff, like you're really good. Why don't you ever look at stocks, bro? It's so much less volatile than crypto. Like it'd be 10 times easier. And my answer to that was, guys, I'm a degenerate. No, I'm just kidding. But it is, even especially with crypto, things can get pretty crazy and very unexpected things can happen, right? So it's not impossible. Especially with where we are, it's kind of a really hard situation, guys, because it's the same situation that we were looking at here, right? Like money flow in the higher time frames were coming out, right? So we did stick with that kind of more bearish scenario, but it was kind of with the caveat of like, with where we are in the cycle, there is a good possibility that we could see that money flow fake out. Luckily, we didn't see the fake out. We saw the lower high in the continuation, and it's the same situation here, but because it's the same situation and where we are in the cycle, there is still a possibility of getting that fake out on money flow. But the good thing is we can watch this money flow, right? We could see this start to curve up, and there will be warning signs before the 2-day money flow comes up, right? We can start to watch the daily. What's the daily money flow doing? If that daily money flow crosses up, that's a really, really good sign. So here's the if this, then that statement. If we get above that golden pocket, I would definitely think it's more likely because we're above the value area low and we're above that golden pocket. And when you flip a golden pocket, you're looking up towards that 786. And when you flip that value area low, you're looking up towards that POC, right, which is above the 786. So if we hold this zone between 60,931 and 62K, right, I would definitely expect a continuation here, at least to the 786, if not the POC. And there's no way to say there's no way to guarantee what we see happen, right? Typically, when you come to the POC, you do kind of magnetize to it. You kind of stick around it a little bit. So maybe we kind of hang up there. I'm not going to try to call the exact price action, even though it is really fun when we do that and it works out. But it's like impossible to get. You're like, hey, we're going to come up here. We're going to range for 2 days, and then we're going to come up. Like sometimes I see people do that. They're like, yeah, we'll come up here and we'll range for 2 days. It's like there's no way to tell that, right? But if we flip that level, I would definitely anticipate at least the 786, flip the 786, POC at 67K, and then once you get above that POC, this is where things get really interesting, right? Well, if you get back to 70K, that's interesting. But again, there's always warning signs, guys. If you did come up to these levels, like last time we came up for that lower high, what were we looking at? And shout out to anybody who's new here, right? Pull your fib from the high all the way to that 53K low. And you know what I could do here? I'll just go into bar replay mode to kind of make it, make it nice and, current, right? Like, or what it looks like in real time. And I will go ahead and hide these levels, right? So when we bounced here, right, we said, hey, daily bull div, we even had a 2-day green dot that was about to print. And we're like, hey, if we get that 2-day green dot, right, which we did wind up getting, where is it? Right there, right? So 2-day green dot, guys. Once that confirms or prints, we can expect a push to the upside. But with the way money flow is crossing into the red here, that would be an anticipation, and we did this live 100 times, right? A lackluster push to the upside to potentially come into the likely areas to put in a lower high and continue down to break that structure to lower prices, right? And then obviously we came up here, but why were we looking for the rejection here? We had our key levels, which was the golden pocket 786. We also had a weekly level up there. We've looked at this a few times, right? So those two likely places to get the rejection were here and right here, right? Bada boom. And there's always going to be signs, right? So what happened when we wound up coming up here, right? We wound up getting to the golden pocket, got a little resistance, but that's not where the lower high came in. Once we came up to the actual short zone here where we knew the likely lower high was going to come in, when you come down to the lower time frames, we started seeing bearish signs, right? We saw bearish divergences with higher highs on our price action and lower highs on our momentum waves, giving us that high time frame bear div at key resistance where we know there's a likelihood of a lower high and a continuation down. And obviously, we wound up getting that continuation, breaking that structure to the downside as we were looking for, right? So it's almost the same exact scenario with just some different levels, right? We're just looking at different levels here, right? So get rid of the fib. Let me come down to a lower time frame here. Bada boom, and then I'll pull that current range. There we go. So it's the same thing, but just slightly different levels. Let me come off. So yeah, we come down, right? We see a daily bull div. You anticipate, hey, if that prints, you're going to get a move to the upside, but money flow on the higher time frames is still coming out, right? On the 3-day, on the 2-day, and even the 4-day here is coming out, right? So you're still looking at it in the same way that we looked at it previously, which is a potential lackluster bounce to the upside into the likely areas to get the rejection, which could be the golden pocket 786, right? Which oftentimes is that area like we just looked at here. Now, again, it doesn't guarantee just because it TA is not going to work 100% of the time, right? It worked out perfectly here. Does not guarantee that it's going to be work out here. But if we continue up, right, into the 786 or maybe even into the POC and we start seeing like really bearish signs, we start getting bearish divergences on the higher time frames with money flow coming out, it'll be the same signals or similar signals. You could get different ones as well. But it could be similar signals that we saw up here, and there will be warning signs for that potential pullback. If we don't see those signals, then it's probably more likely to see the fake out and the continuation to the upside. And I want to be clear, there is no way to 100% know this, right? That's why trading is an if this then that statement, especially if you're trying to make money in both ways. Like we were shorting yesterday. I'm not in a long position right now. The only long I'm holding right now is still the long from 40K or just under 40K, right? So that's the only long I'm holding right now. But at that point, if you don't see those signals, you sit on your hands and you wait for a signal, right? You say, hey, probably going to be a continuation up. So there you go. Hopefully that kind of helped people who are trying to learn, or hopefully kind of explains what I'm looking at here, right? Just because we're expecting a potential lower high to come in does not guarantee that it's going to happen, right? And that's a key to being a trader. You have to understand that. You can't, if you don't understand that, right, you're just going to be like basically gambling, right? You're just like, hey, we're pumping. I think we're going up. I'm going to get in. I don't think we're ever going to come down, right? You have to look at both scenarios. And then obviously if you have more evidence on one end of the spectrum, you could probably put your bets on that end, right? So there you go. All right, let's see. I'm always looking for singles. If else, I'm not entering. Shout out to Mark Dutch out there looking for the singles. But yeah, with all that being said, guys, let's see. What'd you call a 3-day RSI retap? Let me see. Let me pull up the RSI. I don't know exactly what you mean by a retap. Let me see here. I might be able to. Yeah, so a 3-day RSI retap. Yeah, I don't know exactly what you mean by retap. Maybe you mean down to the low, down to the 30 level here. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. Yeah, let me know. I'll try to answer. If I can see your chat and you answer, I'll try to give you a better explanation. All right, let's see. Shout out to Wayne C. said, Wick escaped again. Wick escaped again. Wifey needs a better lock. Shout out to Wayne C. Wick trying to break out of that jail apparently that he's in. Wayne knows. Did you know possums can crawl into spaces the size of their bodies? That's crazy. Shout out to Wick. Well, if the hole is the size of their body, you would think they probably could get through there. Shout out to Wick 589. I love when people call you trash cat, bro. Calling possums trash cats are hilarious. But anyway, let's see if we're going to go. Oh yeah. So actually, shout out to Robert. Shout out to Robert says if they are going to liquidity hunt all the time, they will never get to 250K. Yeah, 100%, right? But you could look at this, right? Remember, on the live stream a while ago, as we were looking at the liquidation heat maps, let me go ahead and pull this up really quick. As we were looking at the liquidation heat maps a while ago, let me see, where is it? 52. Okay, yeah. So right here, right? They're not always going to just liquidity grab the highs, right? But as you can see down here, at about $52,000 to $51,000, we did have that liquidity sitting here. Actually, if I pull up what is this? This is the 1 month. Let me pull up the 3 month really quickly because you could see it almost perfectly. Come on, there we go. Come on, high block. There we go, right? So we did have this liquidity sitting down here at 51 to 52K, right? Which is another thing that was helping us kind of point to that lower price, saying, hey, it would make a lot of sense to come sweep those lows at about 51 to 52K because we did have that hot spot of liquidity sitting there. It's not always about liquidity grabbing the highs, but they come down, liquidity grab the lows, right? And then you can send it off to higher prices. But if we look here at the local liquidity heat map here, bada boom. So right up here, right? So we do have a little bit of a hot spot of liquidity sitting here. And shout out to Vinny from High Block. He was showing us some really cool features here. If we pull up the minimum liquidity here, it'll kind of just show us those. This cleans up the liquidity heat map so much so you could just see the actual key levels or the key liquidation levels that you're looking for. So 62 to 63K, we do have that liquidity sitting up here, which again, if we pull up the regular chart, let me come out of bar replay mode here. I don't want people getting scared like, oh my God, we dumped. But yeah, 62, that liquidity, there is liquidity sitting right up here, right? So again, that could act as a magnet. And if we don't get SFPs or anything up here, that could potentially be something to look at for a rejection. But if you come sweep that liquidity and you keep coming up, that would be a good sign in my opinion. So just another reason to kind of look for a push up here because we do have that liquidity sitting. So there you go. Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you all. Thank you so much for that super chat. Said all likes are appreciated. Please show support by smashing. Golden was homeless before he met Frankie. Now he's a billionaire. He's like Smasher. Rumor is non-smashers get stopped out. Just saying. Shout out to Creighton C. Yeah, guys, smash up that like button. We're going for 550 as we do every single live stream. If we do hit 550, we will give away some extra XRP. In light of the XRP news. All right, so let's go ahead and continue on here, guys. I'm going to start taking a look at Ethereum. Did Rob the Crypto Swap count the votes? I don't know. Actually, I don't know if Rob's here today. But yeah, if you guys have not already dropped your altcoins in the chat, go ahead and throw them in here, and we will get one of the mods. Is Rob here? I haven't seen him, but one of the mods will count the votes and let us know what we're looking at. Let's look at like 3 maybe. I'll take a look at Ethereum. We'll obviously take a look at XRP, and then we'll take a few requests. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Thank you for that super chat right now. I appreciate you so much, bro. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on. Okay, so shout out to Mayrick. Shout out to you, bro. He says, when you take small time frame trades, are you making them based on larger time frame trends? Yeah, so if I am, it depends, right? If I'm trading, say, if I'm trading the 15-minute, right, I will look at the higher time frames because now I'm not paying attention. Like if I'm looking for longs here, so yesterday on the live stream, let me get rid of the RSI here real quick. So if we want, come on, get out of here. Okay, so if I were trading like say the 15-minute or even like the 30-minute, right? So yesterday we were looking at a likely continuation up based off the 90-minute money flow crossover. If that 90-minute money flow crossover happens, that's probably what will start the bigger move up, right? And then if you look at the 90-minute, right, crossover happens, bigger move happens, right? So if I were to say to enter a trade based off just that, you could pay attention to the higher time frames, right? But I'm not paying attention. Like I'm not gonna not long here because the 2 and 3 day and 4 day money flow is coming out, right? Like that's the idea here on the 30-minute is to be in and out of the trade before that money flow even has a chance to move, right? On the higher time frames. But that doesn't mean that I'm not looking at the 1 hour, the 2 hour, the 3 hour when I'm trading on the 30-minute, right? So it depends on what I'm trading. If I was looking at the daily, right? Like say I was gonna enter a trade on the daily, right? If I'm looking at this daily bull div, I am going to keep in mind that higher time frame money flow is coming out, right? But on a 30-minute time frame, I'm probably looking up towards if I'm taking the trade on the 30-minute, I'm looking at the 1 to 4 hour, right? So I see a 4 hour green dot printing maybe, right? Let's just say, yeah, you had a nice little trigger wave here. But you see a 4 hour green dot, right? Then you could go down to the 30-minute and be like, hey, what's price look like here? Maybe you see a confirmation. And then, money flow's coming up on the 15-minute, right? Maybe I want to look for a long position. Enter the long position. I know this is a little off here. I'm just trying to explain kind of how I do this. But 15-minute money flow crossover, you enter the long position, and then you can use that 4 hour time frame as kind of your longer term guide, right? If price comes up and then you see the 4 hour green dot print, you're like, hey, maybe we can continue up a little more. But again, not looking at the 3 day money flow, right? I'm not saying like, I can't long on the 30-minute because the 3 day money flow is coming out. These are very far apart from each other. And the 3 day, it takes a long time to develop, right? So, so I do pay attention to higher time frame trends for sure, but not like the 3 day, right? Especially if it's a low time frame. So hopefully that helps you out or answers your question. Let's see, bada boom. Shout out to Crypto Max. He said, bull run confirmed once we get 550 likes. Let's go. Let's see. Golden is a boss. Golden is the boss of Larry. How is he? Shout out to Gen Z. That would be crazy. Shout out to you, bro. But yeah, let's see. Shout out to Jay Gilly. Let's go. Said Tony D equals daddy. Jay, how'd you know that? How did you find that out? He says, help a brother get into premium. Oh, shout out to Jay Gilly at Tony D. There we go. You guys are funny. There you go. Pretty easy link there. Tony D's on point. Let's go. Shout out to Jay Gilly. Hopefully we'll see you in there soon. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. And let's take a look at Ethereum. So for ETH, guys, kind of a similar situation here, right? So we drop down. We have our two main volume profiles, right? And we talk about this all the time. Auction market theory, right? The idea that price is always hunting out fair value, right? So you have your fair value up here. If you lose this fair value, price is going to seek out the next area of value, which was sitting down here between $2,400 and about $2,100, right? Down at this naked value area. And shout out, someone said, was like, Frankie, you were looking at that level. I was like, yeah, right? It's all based off the volume profile. So we get that move down into the naked volume profile. And where do we get the support, right? We came down here. Let me actually hide these local levels real quick. Came down into that local volume profile. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Came down into that local volume profile. You actually did, I believe, wind up getting some kind of bullish divergences here. Maybe not. It was on Bitcoin we had the bull divs, but yeah, no bull divs here. But you did come down to the low here of that volume profile, right? And you can expect once you come in here that these levels will get respected, right? So you come down, slip the low, back to the high, back to the low, back to the high, back to the low, and then you get above it, right? That's your deviation, and then we wound up getting more of a breakout. So we did come out here, and we did tap that key level, right? That naked value area, the naked point of control here, and we are getting that daily green dot. See if the 90-minute played us out here is, oh, yeah, 90-minute money flow crossover just beginning here on ETH. So maybe we can continue up. And to be honest with you guys, structurally, it's very similar, right? We had a main volume profile. We got the imbalance to the downside. Price hunted out that previous value, right? This is, time and time again, we see this stuff play out, right? Value. Once you lose this value, you're going to hunt out the next value area, which is coming from here, right? So it's all the same stuff, right? It's on every coin you could use this, right? But this is kind of nice, right? We got the wash of the lows here. We didn't tap this wick, which is, this is the Bitstamp chart. Let me, so ignore that. But, we came down here, hit the low. Now we are starting to break out. At this point, where's the next significant area of balance, right? If we are able to break these highs, next significant area of balance is going to be to start your journey back. Let me get rid of this. To start your journey back up towards that macro value area low, which is sitting here at about 3K. Right, so if we see a continuation here, our next big level of resistance is going to be right here at about $3,000. We have your previous value area low. Now, if let's go ahead and again, same thing on ETH, guys. When we got that drop down on the 4th of July, where did we retrace into? Right, Bitcoin went for the 786 value area high, but Ethereum simply came up and rejected the golden pocket, and we know that this and this are the high likelihood areas to put the lower high in and continue down to break structure to the downside to lower prices. Right. So same thing, very simple stuff, simple Fibonacci kind of theory here, right? So now this is obviously old, so we can get rid of this, not the POC. Come on, stop. Oh my God. There we go. Technology is my enemy. But I'll pull this to the previous, range, right? So that's our range here, and we can now move, right? We can go to the local high here and pull to the new local low. Do we have confluence on that value area low? Well. Just like Bitcoin, this is going to be your next key level of resistance. Now, Bitcoin is already up in here, but Ethereum has not hit it yet, right? So that would be kind of the next major target to the upside if Ethereum does continue up. About $3,000, we have the golden pocket and the value area low. Previous value area low, I should say. So if we get above that, right, you could say to yourself, well, hey, if we get above that value area low golden pocket, I'm going to be looking up towards that 786. We flip the 786. That POC is right above you, right? So, and in general, if you flip that value area low, you would anticipate the next likely place for price to go to be that POC and the value area high, but you do want to keep in mind that you do have that 786 in between, right? So you don't want to just ignore all the resistance in between, but likely you're starting your journey, which could give you ebbs and flows to the downside before getting up there, but you are going to be looking for that POC in the value area high, right? But know that 786 is there as well. So there you go. That is what I'd be looking at, and to be honest, if, let me actually come out here, undo some of this. I'm going to get those local levels that I had down here. Come on, bada boom. Come on. Okay. I guess there it is. And there it is. Okay. So locally on ETH, right? We're in between two value areas. So if the trend continues, next likely place is going to be the levels I just showed you. But if we could get a pullback here, which I don't know how likely it's going to be, but if we can get a pullback here, we can look at some of these lower levels, right? And I'm actually going to get rid of this, and this, right? So we could look at this, right, as our local levels below, right? Because you have this kind of little value area. It's a little wonked out, but golden pocket. Again, if price continues up, you're going to have to, trail that fib up with it, right? Because you want to pull from the absolute high. But we are seeing some kind of confluence down here at that value area low golden pocket. That is coming in at about $2,300. So, again, I don't know. Like, you might not have a chance to get back in here, but if you did, this could be kind of a zone to start looking for some potential longs at between about 27.77 and 22.20. Not financial advice. This is where I will be looking for longs. So there you go. Some local levels as well as the longer term levels. Let me get that RSI back off of this chart. So there you go. That is what I'd be looking at on Ethereum for the most part. Just kind of in between those two value areas. All right, let's see. Somebody hitting the heart button. Let's go. Let's see. Do I think we can come back to 50K BTC? Shout out to Thayrick. Shout out to Thayrick. Yeah, I mean, listen, 50K BTC, it really depends, right? I would expect locally, if we don't get the rejection here, right, if we don't get a strong rejection here, I would expect a continuation to the upside up to the 786, right? Because locally, 3-hour money flow, this 3-hour money flow is not looking as good, to be honest. But the 2-hour money flow looking pretty nice here, right? Crossover into the green, maybe get a little cool off. But as long as that money flow continues up, we can anticipate medium term to come back to the upside. But if we come up here, just like we did back here, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because we just spent a bunch of time on it. But if it's like this, right, where we retrace into likely key levels with bearish divergences and like key signals to look for shorts, could be more likely based off higher time frame money flow to get that move not only down to 50K, but the next target I would look at is down towards 49 to 42K. So there you go. And again, if that happens, I'm not super bearish, right? I'm looking for longs down there, and I'm looking for buy the dip scenarios, as long as the charts aren't screaming further down. So there you go. So is 50K possible? I mean, absolutely, right? 250K by tomorrow is technically possible. But right now, locally, with the way money flow looks on the 2, the 3, even the 4 hours kind of locally coming up here, it's not as pretty. But we have to let the price action kind of develop here. But locally, we could continue up here especially if we flip 62K, sweep that liquidity, look for the 786 closer to 65K. But let's see. Shout out to Alpha Vision said, can you give some tips on how to set TP levels? Yes, we 100% can. So for me, right, for take profit levels, there's many, maybe should I do I just did a take profit video, but it was more on how to make your trades guaranteed winning, like how to make guaranteed winning trades based off of, based off moving your stop loss, taking profit, and all that good stuff, right? But I didn't really talk about, where to set your TPs, right? But there's a million different ways to set your take profits, right? Number one is you could take profit at Fibonacci levels, right? So like if I were to say long from this higher low, where we bounced off that local value area low we were looking at yesterday, this could be a significant take profit, right? If I were looking for a scalp here, hey, we got to move. This is a pretty significant move, bada boom, up to about 61.2, right? About 12.5%. So you could take some off the table here, and then your next take profit naturally would be the 786 and the POC. But for me, right, more often than not, when I'm trading, I'm looking at volume profiles. So really what I do, right, if I have I'll just kind of illustrate this very easily. Bada boom, right? So if I have a value area here, whoops, yeah, there we go, right? If I grab my value area, boom, you have your POC in the middle usually, and then your value area low down here. So if I were to enter a trade here, for the most part, right, my take profits, right, I'm looking for longs as we deviate below the lows. I'm looking for shorts as we deviate above the highs, right? So for me, very naturally, right, for a value area trade, if you are able, like say you're bing-bonging around here, right, price comes down, you deviate, you look for a long position, TP1 in this case is going to go from value area low to POC. This is TP1. Get above the POC, there's TP2, right? And then you could choose to hold a portion of your trade in case you get a bigger breakout. And this is where you can look at stuff like money flow, higher time frame analysis. Are you expecting continuation? If you are, you could take, say, 20% here, 20% here, leave a little more in the trade, right? 30% here, 30% here, leave the rest to run, right? So, using the volume profiles gives you those super, 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 super clear TPs, right? And then the same thing for the shorts, right? If I were looking for a short here, right, I would look for this, right? Maybe you deviate above the highs, right? Maybe you get like an SFP or something like that above the range high, right? And then you can look for the move back down to the low, where your obvious TPs would be TP1 at the POC, TP low at the value area low. Now, this is just the way I do it when I'm trading volume profiles, but you could also use Fibonacci levels, just regular support levels, support and resistance levels. You could use your volume profile as well, right? So, for example, if I'm looking at this downtrend, and let's just say, for example, you're long from the tippy low here, right? What you could do is pull your fixed range volume profile from the absolute high all the way to your current price. And what I would do is turn my value area to 100% so I could see all the volume here. And let me just hide this other stuff to make it a little bit easier to see. Bada boom, right? So now you can use your actual volume levels. And let me extend the volume here a little bit. Right, and you could look at your significant volume levels for TPs, right? So if you come up, there's going to be possibly resistance here, possibly resistance here. Obviously, you have resistance here. You could look at your high volume nodes to see, where your significant levels of resistance are going to be, right? Now, typically what I do is I like to find the confluence, right? So I would look here, I'd pull my fib, be like, okay, this is a pretty major level. 2 high volume nodes and a golden pocket. I'd probably be taking profit here, especially if you understand that it's also your value area low of the range, right? But this is another way that you can use volume profiles with 100% value area to find those high volume nodes and expect, like when you came up here, right, what happened? You came up to the high volume node, even if you come in a bar replay mode, like right here, we'll come up a little bit more, right? You're looking at this and you're like, okay, hey, watching price move up here. I'm going to have to extend this to the right. Bear with me. Bada boom, right? Okay, so we're hitting a high volume node here. Maybe this is where we get a little bit of a rejection. We have two other high volume nodes up here. Bada boom, right? What happened here? We got a little pullback, right? You don't know if you're going to get a higher low and a continuation. You can judge this based off money flow, but at the time, you don't know that for a fact, right? So if you come up to that high volume node, you might be looking at this like, hey, this is a significant high volume node. I'm in a long position. Let me take some profit, right? So grab this. Bada boom. Let's just say you're long from here, right? You're looking to go to the value area low or whatever. And you're like, hey, that's a pretty high volume node. Let me take some profit off. Bada boom. And then obviously you get a little pullback, right? And again, you're not 100% sure if you're going to get the bounce here. Maybe you won't, right? Maybe you get a big move down. You're going to be happy you took profit there. And you could even, once you take profit, you can move your stop loss to your entry. If price goes against you, cool. You got stopped out in profit. Even though you got stopped out, you won the trade, right? Because you made money. So that's just another way you can look at take profits. Support and resistance, right, is the answer. Whether you're looking at volume profiles, Fibonacci, spider lines, whatever it is, pitchforks, whatever you're looking at for support and resistance, those are going to be the significant areas. And the areas that have more confluence are more likely to give you a rejection. So those might be like more key take profit levels. So there you go. Hopefully that helps you out. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to Wick589 said y'all probably should y'all would probably recommend using high volume nodes as TP to scale out of a spot trade way over percentage profits too. Yes. Cuz here's the thing, right? Like if you take profits based off percentages, you're guessing how high price is going to go, right? You're not using any kind of like it's just like, hey, I want to triple my money, right? I want 300%. And it's like, is it just you want 300%? Like, is there a reason price will go up 300%? Because if there's not a technical reason, what are you looking at, right? You're just basically gambling and hoping to hold on for percentages. At least if you're looking at something on the chart, you can actually see those physical levels that are likely to give you those reactions. So there you go. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on. Let's take a look at Render. Take a look, take a sip of the Aztecian Cactus Moss Water. Hey, shout out to Blockchain Domain said I'm here. Let's go. Seth said makes sense to me. Let's get it. Let's see. Chat's on fire tonight. Let's go. Shout out to Mikey. Wayne C says, have not heard too Have not heard 2 weeks to find him. Oh, God, shout out to Wayne C. I don't even know what that's in reference to. All right, let's continue on. Let's take a look at this. Bada boom. All right, so let's see. Bada boom. Okay, so let me go ahead and take this volume profile. Not on 100%. Not on 100%. Actually, shout out to Wick. I'll be honest. Actually, a really good way to, in my opinion, know where to take profits in the long term, right? For your spot bags, right? Because let's say you were long, right? Let's say you bought in down here, right? Let's say you're short, right? Let's say you're short from the top here, right? So what I would do is I would pull my my fixed range from the low to the high, right? And you can now see, and depending on, we'll have to come into bar replay mode to actually see the real-time volume. And I will extend that to the right. Ugh, the fixed ranges hate bar replay mode. It's quite obnoxious. Come on. Oh, that's really annoying. I wish I could show you guys this, because it actually is a, let me come up to the daily, maybe. Come on. All right, well, I guess I can't. I guess TradingView's just broken. It won't work on bar replay mode. But the idea here would be to, if you were long, right, or I'm sorry, if you were short from the top, right, on the way down, right, you're thinking, let's pretend this price action isn't here yet. You take a short position up there, bada boom, right, and let's say you're targeting wherever, right, like, doesn't matter. But on the way down, you're looking at your volume. Where's all the volume at? Well, hey, I know there's a huge high volume node here, which, again, it's probably not as high as it was back here, but it was likely we consolidated here, right? So we built up likely a high volume node back here. And on your way down, you're thinking, like, where's price likely to hit the floor, right? Well, hey, if we come down to that high volume node, all this volume is likely to give us support. So maybe I want to take some profit here. And if this is the bottom, would have been a perfect take profit for that giant short. So keep that in mind. Definitely not a bad long-term way to look at the volume profiles either. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to change the value area back to 70. Bada boom. Smash that like button if you guys are learning something about volume profiles today. Put those volume bars back. No, what am I doing? 70 value area. I want to change the. We don't want the volume that extended here. Okay, so there we are. Okay, so for render, let me see. Do we have a render chart? I don't think we do. I'll just make a new one. All right, so I'll just pull the volume profile here. Bada boom, bada bing. Right, so you definitely have a value area up here. You guys can see, not only did you respect the volume profile, but once you broke down, you bearishly retest that value area low, which is key resistance until proven otherwise, and then you get the bigger drop down. Where did you come down to? Very simply put, lower value area. Bada boom. Price is always seeking fair value. And you come down right to that naked value. You could probably even pull that to down here. Doesn't really change it too much, but if you wanted to look at more of a grander kind of look here, bada boom. Value area high. POC. Value area low, right? So very similar to ETH, right? You had your naked value area down here. Bing bong around. Lose the value area. Go seek previous balance. Go to the low, and now you're getting a bounce. So really the key level to remain above here right now for render, is going to be this value area high, right? Because if you're able to remain above this, come down to a lower time frame, yeah. So, could you reject here potentially as you deviate? But if you could flip this to support, find imbalance, next likely place for price to go, in my opinion, is probably going to be that upper value area, right? Very simply put, right? Come down, fill that whole value area, come back up. If you hold this as support, next significant level of resistance is going to be that naked value area. Now, doesn't mean that it's just going to be a straight shot to that level, because if you look closely, you actually you have another value area right here. So you might start hitting your head over here as well. And then you could pull your fibs as well, right? Like, go ahead and see if you could find that confluence. I'll pull from this bigger rejection down to the low. Come on. There you go. Perfect confluence. Golden pocket. Value area low. We're giving it all away for free today, guys. We're giving it all away. But there you go. So key level of resistance, the next big move to the upside, if we get it, sitting between $6.72 and about $7.07, right? Once you break above that, honestly, you kind of have the POC right above you, and then the 786 right above that, right? So you still have some work to do there. But once you flip that 786, could potentially look up towards that value area high. Get rid of that awkward line. You could be looking up towards that value area high. So there you go. Bada boom. That's what I'd be looking at on render. As far as market cipher goes, yeah, you do have a nice trigger wave here. Is it confirmed? Didn't really give you much, to be honest with you, for a 6-hour trigger wave. Let's take a look at the 12-hour, 16-hour daily green dot confirmed. So yeah, 2-day green dot, no bullish divergence. Yeah, key resistance 490. If you get above this level, you look for the move up. If you get stuck underneath this, just keep in mind, not only do you have the POC and the value area low below, but you also have them very close to each other, right? So come on. So there you go. If you get accepted back into this range, you could potentially look to go back down to the low. In which case, I was going to say you could look for high time frame bull divs, but it doesn't look like they're setting up for it. Could set up for like an 8-hour bull div, though. Something like this. Boom. Look for a long back up to the value area high, and then hold the portion of it for the breakout to the higher level. But yeah, that's if you get accepted back below that value area low, or value area high. But yeah, that's what I'd be looking at right now on render. So there you go. Let's see. Let's take a look at Caspa. Cass. Bada boom on MEXC. Oh, baby. Let's take a look here. Weekly red dot printing. I mean, I'll be honest. This is a pretty, at least as of right now, this is a pretty bullish looking candle. So keep that in mind. But fresh weekly red dot. You might get a VWAP flip here on the weekly if this candle doesn't turn around. But let's come up to the daily. Let's hide this. Bada boom. Okay, so weekly MPOC. This is old. This is old. This is old. This is old. I think these are all old. So let me actually pull some new MPOCs here. Daily, sitting right up here. And that's about it for the dailies. Let me change the settings here real quick. Boom. Okay. Got another daily down here, and that's about it. Pull up the weekly MPOCs. It's about, yeah. I mean, this is a daily and a weekly. So that could be a saucy level. So yeah, that is, so as of right now, that's the significant MPOCs I would look at. I would also see if we have any fresh monthly levels. Boom. That is a fresh monthly. And then another fresh monthly right here. Let's label it. I don't know what Mrs. Candles is doing over there. I just hear smashing around. Guys, hang on 1 second. That was actually really loud. Hang on. Give me 2 seconds. You okay, Mrs. Candles? You okay? Oh, okay. I hear banging. Oh, all right. Apparently, I'm losing my mind, guys. She's like, what are you talking about? I didn't hear anything. I don't know what just happened. I just heard a huge bang. But anyway, there's your 2 monthly levels. Let me go ahead and remove this, come down to a lower time frame. Okay, yeah, so you can see this value area high getting absolutely respected here. Actually looks pretty nice. Hey, I see those hearts. I see these hearts, baby. Let's go. I appreciate you guys. My bad, bro. That was just me walking. Yo, shout out to Tony D. Causing earthquakes, Tony. Unbelievable. He's just like jumping up and down in the studio here. Let's see. BTC running. Oh, there it goes for the top of the golden pocket. Get rid of these arbitrary random levels that I just drew before. Pull up the current range. Here we go. Making a run for the top of that golden pocket. Look at that. Tap to the dollar, baby. Tap to the dollar. All right, let's see. Bada boom. Yo, I don't know what you guys are talking about in the chat right now. But anyway, guys, look. Yo, shout out to Wayne C. What does that even mean? I don't know what that was, guys. I don't know what that was. But anyway, let's continue on here. Can you talk about those CME gaps? We have an island reversal. Shout out to the Infinity. I could pull up the CME gaps real quick. And we'll go back to the alts here. Yeah, so yeah, CME gap up here. Well, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I don't pay super big attention to the CME gaps, guys. But not that you shouldn't, right? It's not just because I don't look at it doesn't mean it doesn't work or anything like that. But it's just, you can only look at so much stuff. Actually, I'll be honest with you guys. Throughout my trading, right? One of the most common things that causes me to kind of lose focus or used to cause me to kind of see blurred vision on the charts is looking at too much stuff, right? Too much information is a lot of the time bad information, right? That's why I always like to keep things as simple as possible because, if you're looking at, a CME gap and a golden pocket, but then you're looking at fair value gaps and they're all over the place, you're just looking at yourself and you wind up seeing a chart with levels like this. And it's like, well, are we going to come up here and reject? Are we going to come up here and reject? Here reject, here and reject, here and reject, here. And at that point, that is an untradeable chart, right? So you kind of have to, the more simple you can keep the chart, the better, right? And sure, you may get a rejection from a level that you don't have on the chart, and you might miss a trade or get stopped out, or it might front run your level, but that's okay, right? You don't have to catch every single trade, and just having all that information on your charts to try to see every single level is probably going to cause you to miss more stuff or over trade, right? And you're going to lose more money than make. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, that's the reason you can only look at so much stuff. People will tell me, why don't you look at fair value gaps? Do you ever look at this? Do you ever look at that? And it's moving averages. You guys notice I don't use a lot of moving averages. It's not because they don't work, right? Moving averages obviously work. It's just you can only look at so much stuff, right? But yeah, CME gap is up here, so that does make a lot of sense, right? I would have added this to the bullish case yesterday if we were looking at it, right? But yeah, CME gap up there. And we do have that liquidity sitting up here as well, as we just looked at on the liquidation heat maps. You do have that liquidity sitting here at about between 62 and 63K. Right, so basically just above this golden pocket is where that liquidity is sitting to fill the rest of that CME gap. So definitely key resistance here. But the nice thing is, if we flip it, could look up higher. So yeah, but let's go back to, what was it, Caspa on the MEXC chart. Get rid of the CME gaps. So here we are, right? So yeah, we just front ran that last target to the upside. I mean, these targets do work out. These targets have been perfect on Caspa, these Fibonacci extension targets. But just barely front ran this level. But, if we do come up here, let's see. I would look at this as resistance. You have a daily and weekly naked point of control right on that 786. That is definitely going to be worth looking at. All right, so you break that golden pocket, 786 daily naked point of control is going to be the next thing to look at for a potential rejection. But to be honest, right, yeah, that would be the next local next local level of key resistance, right? That's nice confluence. So if you're going to continue, if you're going to start this daily downtrend here, and let's pull up Market Cipher to see what it says. Yeah, I mean, money flow technically is trending out on the daily. It's coming up locally, so it's hard to kind of judge this. But if that money flow crossed into the red and you're anticipating a lower high and a downtrend, this is probably the area to look at for a short. If you're expecting a downtrend, right? I'm not saying short this level. I'm saying if you have confirmations and you think it's going to come down here, that would be that 786, technically the golden pocket, but with that fresh daily green dot, I think it's probably more likely to come up, even if you reject here a little bit. But that would be the next kind of local level of resistance. Other than that, the next targets to the upside for Caspa are basically all-time highs, right? Caspa holding up incredibly well here. So next target to the upside, 21 to 22 cents, 24 cents. Mrs. Candles is playing football downstairs. I am sorry, guys. She is 100% playing football. I don't know what's going on. She's just running into the walls or something. I don't know. All right, let's see. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, shout out to Crypto Bow Hunter saying, Caspa will make you stupid rich. Yeah, I actually do hold a bit of Caspa. Okay, so let's go ahead and see here. So, yeah, that's kind of what I would look at locally, right? Major value area, like key macro resistance. I want to call it macro, but value area high here at 15 cents. If you cannot sustain support above that level, I'd look down to the POC and then the value area lower. You still have these naked levels here, right? And to be honest, just like looking at this price action, whoops. Yeah, I mean, you basically licked all these lows here. Yeah, big liquidation wave there. I mean, yeah, I mean, you could potentially look at that as a range as well if you wanted to hide everything else, right? You can look at this local range. But again, you know, at what point are you looking at too many levels, right? But again, you know, this level, it remains key, right? Not only was it what the confluence with the 786 and the daily naked point of control, but you also have the POC up here and the local value area high, right? So if I pull up that, it's going to be here somewhere. Right here, right? It's daily naked point of control. It's this whole zone here. Probably key resistance. But the nice thing is if you flip that daily, weekly naked point of control, you may be off into new all-time highs. So there you go. That is what I'd be looking at Caspa. I know it's kind of a lot to look at, but that's what I'd be watching. Higher time frames, yeah, fresh red dot on the 6-day. Printing, weekly red dot is also printing. So be careful, right? This is a super bullish candle, but come up for a lower high. Could be more downside. But yeah, this is one heck of a candle there. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Yo, let's see. Shout out to Delia. Shout out to Delia. Says, Frankie, what's happening with BTC? It's over 62K now. Is this for real? Is this actually happening? Shout out to Delia. It says, where would the rejection level be at if we were to reject? Shout out to Delia. I don't know why I'm struggling with that name so much. We just actually took a look at that, right? Likely levels of rejection, in my opinion, are going to be, right? We are actually breaking that golden pocket. Are we going to see that run up to the 786 live here? That would be crazy. But yeah, if we do continue up here, you know, this golden pocket and this 786 are likely areas to reject. Now, this is a strong pump, right? It's not like if you come up and tap the level, you're just looking for a nuke to the floor. But, you know, just like on that previous rejection, I actually, Delia, I would recommend go to the beginning of the stream. If you watch the stream from the beginning, I go over this in, like, super detail. I compare exactly why we saw the rejection here and how we are in a similar situation, right? And then I go over the likely places to reject. And the way I compare it will really kind of, like, guide the way for you. But, yeah. Yeah, I would recommend scrubbing back because we already spent a bunch of time on it, but I explain it in perfect detail. So go check that out. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Jay says BTC smashing all TA. Well, not really. I would say respecting all TA right now. Going for that golden pocket retracement. 786. I'll be honest with you guys. I would rather just come up. And that's typically not the case. Now, that's not what I'm saying. I would expect more, but what I would prefer a move up. Just because, yeah, it's just, we come back down, everyone's going to be scared. It's going to be like, and then it's just, I would just like to come up here. It would kind of be, yeah, we'll have to see what happens. September is typically when that big run starts to happen, or that's at least what happened last time, right? September happens, and then, bada boom, right? Like what happened right before the big run up, though? I know, forget about C19, right? As we approached the end of August, we kind of just ranged up, came down, hang on. One second here. Yeah, I mean, essentially, you were ranging around sideways, came up. I'm surprised that's not a POC. It's a value area high. But then you got like a huge drop to the downside, and then finally September comes in, you range around a bit, and then eventually you just rock it off. You know, are we going to see something similar happen? Potentially. It's kind of hard to say. But yeah, if we continue up here, guys, 786 next target, flip that POC at 67,000. All right, let's see. If we don't make a new high soon, we're going to be screwed. Yeah, I mean, shout out to Crypto Maxi. I mean, worst case scenario, in my opinion, right? Like, and you know, I always try to approach the charts with what would cause the most pain, right? And in my opinion, right, especially for most retail, most people who came in, like, you know, not the people who are entering down here, right? More people who are buying on the trend to the upside. Like, what would wreck the most people, right? And the most new people, in my opinion, right? You have like super new people entering here, right? This is clearly not a place where you want to enter the market, right? But new people don't understand this, right? They see price going up. They think that's bullish. They enter and they get wrecked, which they've already felt a whole lot of pain here. But, what would cause the most pain is to fake everybody out again and then send it to 47K, 42K, even down below this range, guys. We have a lot of key support. Now, again, I'm not calling for this, but I'm just saying this would cause a lot of pain. Like, all these people would likely be panicking like crazy if we broke these lows, sell their bags into this key level of support, right? Come test that level one more time, right? We kind of tested the ETF levels, but come down to that naked point of control that we have down here, and then, everyone's like, oh my God, the bear market's here. Guys, people are asking, right, if the bull market was over when we dumped to 53K, right? Now, this is like a huge, 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 huge sign that like retail is feeling the pain, right? Because if you look at this chart on the macro, right, if you've been in crypto for any time, right, like this dump down is nothing for Bitcoin, right? Especially if you're buying the bottom of the bear market. So this just goes to show how much retail was buying up here. Is the bull market over? What the heck do you mean? Right? We are just up and to the right now. This is again, even if we came down to into the 40s, right? We got that crazy pain. You would still maintain bullish market structure coming down here to continue that move up. So even if that happened, I'm still long-term bullish, right? So keep that in mind. And I always say it's like the hardest part of my job. Like, if we're looking at shorts on the 30-minute time frame, people are asking why I'm bearish on Bitcoin if we're in a bull run, and it's like, that is not how it works, right? It's like hard for me to kind of explain to people who like new people, the difference between like understanding the context between different time frames, right? People be like, oh, I'm looking for a big swing short up here, right? And if I did, right, and I took a big swing short here, people like, oh, the bull market's over. Like, no, right? It's just the context of what we're looking at based on the time frames, right? I look for a move down here, potential, continuation of the bullish market structure, and then just keep that moving to the upside, right? But this would feel like if people thought this drop to 53K was the end of the bull market, imagine what they're thinking down here. But again, maybe we just shoot through here. Very hard to say right now, to be quite honest with you. Money flow pointing towards a lower high and more downside. But, the shocking moves of a bull market can, when the bulls start rearing their head in a bull market, you don't want to fight that overall macro trend too much. All right, let's see. Bada boom. Shout out to Skull says, Frankie, where'd it go? Oh, Frankie, I let go of the short long through the moon. Let's go. Shout out to you, bro. Bitcoin, ETH, and Caspa. Let's get it, bro. Let's get it. All right, let's see. Okay. Shout out to Ghost. Thank you for the super chat. Said MSI. Let's show Frankie we are a big deal community. Shout out to Ghost. I appreciate that super chat. I assume, let's see. I assume this is a meme coin. Hard to do TA on something like super low liquidity, it looks like. Let's see. Bada boom. Okay, this chart looks a little more healthy. I don't know anything. Shout out to you guys. I support you. Well, no, I don't support you. Hang on. Sorry, I don't support you. I have no idea. This could be a scam for all I know, guys. But what I'm saying is I support the meme coin movements, guys. I support the meme coin movements, but it's very hard to do TA on these things, especially like this. Like, guys, 99% of meme coins go to zero, right? This actually, speaking of monkey, how is that coin doing? Monkeys. Is that, interesting. I don't know if these meme coins come in, they're like, we're the next Sheev, and I'm always like, I mean, you're pumping now, but you're probably going to zero, and they always go to zero. And I'm not saying this is going to happen to MSI or whatever. And again, no hate towards you guys at all. But just meme coins are really, really hard to right. Like they don't really trade very technically, except for the high market cap meme coins. But yeah, warning to the mafia, guys. All meme coins eventually go to zero, almost, right? Except for the 0.0000001%. It is easier than ever to create a meme coin. And that's why I don't ever shill meme coins. I don't shill any coins, right? But I will never just if I'm in on a meme coin, I'm never just going to try to pump my bags, right? I might talk about what I buy and sell or whatever, but I'm never going to tell someone to I own COQ, right? I'm never going to tell people to just go buy COQ, right? Like I'm not like that. I'm not here to pump my bags. I'm here to show you guys sound analysis to help you guys become profitable traders. So shout out to MSI. I don't know. I don't know what how that's going to turn out. I appreciate the super chats for real, but it's like impossible to do TA on these coins, especially meme coins, right? Because who knows? They're good until the rug gets pulled, or they're good until everybody sells, and they don't really trade very technically. So, I wish you guys the best of luck. But let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, Pepe up 19%. Shout out to Keith. Yeah, now Pepe on the other hand, right? Meme coins, and again, like I buy meme coins, guys. I don't pump. You'll never see me pump them on my show, right? I will never pump them on my show. It's not why I'm here, right? That's shady behavior, right? But the like something like Pepe will trade technically, right? It's a much higher market cap. But like these low liquidity, like S coins, it's a G-rated show. It's gambling, right? Like even COQ, right? It's a little more popular, but it's still gambling. So yeah, just keep in mind, like Google how to make a meme coin, guys. You could do it in 30 seconds. It's pretty crazy. And you will never see me come out with a meme coin. And if I ever did have a meme coin, I would never say, I would never, ever talk about it, try to pump my bags or anything like that. It's just trouble waiting to happen. So there you go. Anyway, let's continue on here. Bada boom, bada bing. Theta. Actually, let's do AVAX. Let's do AVAX. Bada boom. How we doing on time here? Okay. All right. So for AVAX, let's take a look here. Look at the tap on that POC. Look at the tap on that POC. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, look at that tap on the POC. Unbelievable. So yeah, right? Very simply put, area of balance, area of balance, area of balance, right? And then you have your macro bear market lows here, or bear market range, I should say. So came down to tap that POC. Key level of support to remain above is that macro value area high, 2160. If you're able to remain above this level, I would anticipate, right? Where's that next place for price to likely go? If you hold this level of support, you're probably going to hunt out that naked value area. Bada boom. And yeah, get above that value area low POC, look to go to the high. This is like pretty simple, right? Like if you remain here, that is the next likely target, right? Fair value, fair value. You break out of this fair value, probably coming into the next area of balance. So yeah, like key target to the upside here if you continue 2472 all the way up to 2584. And then if you get stuck back below this value area high, bada boom, could get that move back down towards that POC. And you probably want to hold that level at 1726 if you do get down there, because if you spend enough time down there, probably not going to be the best sign for AVAX, right? Because if you come down below that POC, you're definitely at risk of coming a bit lower here. I wouldn't anticipate the value area low necessarily immediately, but typically that's where you start your journey down to the lower prices towards that value area low. Again, not necessarily calling for that, but it's definitely a little bit dangerous. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on here. Two-day bull div into that previous POC. Like that's not the worst look. That is not the worst look. Right into that key level. Higher lows on your momentum waves. Yeah, so that's what's giving you your bounce. But those are the key levels I would look at above. Shout out to Barik. I don't know if I butchered that name. I apologize if I did. But let's go ahead and check out TAO. Let's see here. What is this? Let me see here. Do a little research. Bada boom. Oh, this is BitTensor. Okay. All right. So, take a look at the Binance chart. I'll just give you some key levels here. 2023. Yeah. Okay. So I'll give you key levels here, right? So you're obviously getting a pretty intense move to the upside. Now, I don't know if this is where that trend is going to peak out here. Actually, I'll give you this. Let's do this first. Let's pull this resistance. Whoops. Bada boom. All right. Your high, POC, and your low. Yeah, so you're rejecting that POC. This is your key resistance here. POC value area low. Boom. Get above this. You could look for a move back up to these highs at 346. That's kind of really the levels that I'll give you because, until you wind up getting all the way back up here. Yeah, until you wind up getting all the way back up here, you do have that level of resistance here, right? You can see price originally rejected that level as well, the previous value area low. POC, POC, and your value area high. So there you go, right? If you're able, this is a local key level of resistance is 322. Flip that, you can look up towards 344. And then your next key level of resistance above that is 355. Flip that. You could look up towards that POC at 388 and then a move up to 430.32. But again, you have a little bit of work here to do. So your local resistance is sitting right there. If you're going to continue this uptrend and you do come down, your local fib levels are sitting right here. So this would be like local support. There's other local support levels, but we can mark these out all day if we wanted. So I'll just give you the ones that I would be looking at, right? So maybe if you do pull back, could potentially look for price to retrace into that golden pocket 786 for a potential move back up. So there you go. That is what I'd be looking at on TAO. Green dot confirmed on the daily, 2-day green dot printing. With that bull div as well, it's to the wicks. I don't love that. I'd rather see it to the bodies, but you do have that technical bull div with your lower lows on your price action and your higher lows on your momentum waves. So yeah, it could potentially wind up being a strong bottom, and you guys know we love strong bottoms on this channel. So guys, with all that being said, I think that's all the time I got for tonight's live streams. Let's see. You guys are crazy. But anyway, yeah, shout out to Barik. Hopefully that helps you out. And yeah, guys, shout out, Bitcoin moves a little bit. The meme coins come out. And listen, guys, I'm all in, I'm all in for the fun of meme coins. You can make a lot of money, right? But just be careful because, like I said, if you guys remember back towards towards the bottom of the bear market, when we had all the meme coins, last time we had all the meme coins going crazy, we had coins coming in here saying, we're the next Sheeb. Trust me, we're next up, guys. And I literally pulled up the website live and I was like, guys, there's literally 7 spelling errors on this website. And it's just very clear, right? It's not that you can't make money with them, but they're all very risky. And we checked that chart numerous times after that, and it went to 0. And then it's like you see people going to those people like, hey, what happened to the coin? And they're just like, what? Oh, no, this is the new coin. It's all pump and dumps, get rich quick schemes. You guys will never catch me doing that on this channel. That is not the goal of my channel. I don't want to, first off, there's no benefit, right? Like it's like a get rich quick scheme, and it winds up probably being more trouble than anything, right? I am here to help you guys do sound technical analysis and actually make good decisions, become a profitable trader over time, not gamble your money and likely lose it. Even though sometimes going with that hype can get you, more views or something like that. But that's not why we're here, right? I'm here to actually help you guys and to protect you guys from meme coins. So check out the meme coins on your own. I'm never going to tell you to buy one of those because literally 99% of them go to 0, and you can literally check that yourself. This is not my opinion. But anyway, guys, with all that being said, shout out to Theo Rodriguez, said calf coin. Yeah, put it this way, guys, right? Like if Frankie Candles came out with calf coin, right? And if you ever see a calf coin, you ever see a Bing Bong token, a Frankie Candles coin, I have nothing to do with it. I never will. It's just like, it's just dumb. I would never do that. It's do a like button countdown. Do a like countdown. All right, shout out. How many likes do we have here? We have 534 likes. Guys, if we hit 550 likes in the next 15 seconds, hang on, not yet. Hang on, don't front run me here. In the next 15 seconds, we'll give away $150 in XRP. I'm not counting. I think that was, hang on. I think that was 15 seconds. Did we get it? Oh, 558. Let's go. Shout out to the CandleMafia. Thank you guys so much for 550 likes. I think this is the first time we hit 550 in like 6 months. So shout out to you guys. I appreciate you all so much from the bottom of my heart, and I will always protect you guys, not only from just like being calling for prices for no reason, but also protecting you from those meme coins. So shout out to the CandleMafia. Thank you all for being here. And yeah, smash that like button on your way out. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm ready to leave yet. I mean, the TA is done, but I just kind of want to hang out. Yeah, shout out to Keith. Shout out to Maso. Shout out to Wick589. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm sorry if the energy was off today. I am, Mrs. Candles just had like the flu. And I am pretty sure that my body is absolutely eating itself right now trying to fight off the flu. I don't feel sick, but I have an exhaustion that I cannot explain to you. So if the energy was off, I apologize. Hopefully I'm not sick tomorrow and I'm just back to normal. Again, I don't feel sick. I just feel really tired. But yeah, we will see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as long as I don't have the flu. I'll see you guys tomorrow. That's all I got. Be safe out there. Bitcoin to the moon. Frank Candles out. Bing bong!
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that should have had them kill bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, all they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Real quick, guys, shout out to Corey Laurie. I think that's how you say it. Hopefully you're still in here, bro. No, shout out to Corey Laurie. I'm glad you're. He said I'll be back tomorrow. Shout out to Corey Laurie. Yeah, I did. I'm sorry I missed your super chat. But yeah, I will take a look at Spirax for you. I don't know anything about this project, but I can find you some key levels and hopefully help you out. I didn't realize we had that. We had a bunch of the meme coin super chats, which again I'm not against, but I got to be careful with that kind of stuff. I feel a responsibility to protect you guys against a lot of people. What do people do? They'll just like clip something from the live stream and then say we support it when we don't. So I got to be careful with that stuff, but I got you, brother. We'll take a look at this. And also, shout out to Creighton C. said, Mrs. Candles for being such a big hand person. Has she ever heard of hand sanitizer? Funny enough, when Mrs. Candles is sick, every time she sneezes, she uses hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer. It's insane. She goes through bottles of it. Really crazy. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look of... shout out to Corey. He said, we got to wait until tomorrow. That's all right, bro. We always do some fake outs here. We'll take a little bit... hey, my mom's here. Shout out to my mom, Miss... that's my mom, guys. I don't know what to call her. Mama Candles. There we go. Shout out. Show my mother some love in the chat. Appreciate it for real. You're a real one, though. Shout out to Corey. Of course, bro. I got you. And shout out to my mom. Hey, Ma. Actually, no, I don't think my mom has XRP. My mom has Ethereum. I think she holds Ethereum. But yeah, shout out to my mom. Hi, Mom. Look at me. I'm on TV. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here. I will go ahead and see some key levels. Let's go ahead and pull up the daily here. And let me set this up for you, Corey. Let's take a look, right? So you have a daily naked point of control here. Now, again, I don't know what this is as far as like what it does or anything like that, if use case or anything like that. But I will just kind of do the raw TA for you. And we'll pull up the weekly as well. Okay, so you have a key naked point of control sitting right here. That is a weekly MPOC. Another weekly MPOC. Pull out all three of these. Bada boom. Pull up the daily. Hide the MPOCs. So here you go. This is what I would look for, right? Or look at, I should say. Pull out a box. Bada boom. One POC value area low. Okay, so this your key. I mean, it's pretty similar to everything else, honestly, right? It's a little different, right? But what I can tell you is this daily naked point of control value area low confluence is probably going to be your next key level of resistance, right? And if I pull our fib, let me pull it all the way from the high to the low. Yeah, your golden pocket of the entire move down there is also sitting here. So you definitely have strong resistance here, right? Sitting between 8735 and 9066. And then if you get above that, you have the POC. Once you flip the POC, you can get up to the 786 and then the value area high. But locally, if you continue up, these are likely the levels you're going to come up and interact with. And that's what I'll give you, right? A local support, if we pull it, bada boom, That's your local support. Pretty simple. Nothing really too fancy there. Just a golden pocket 786 retracement. But there you go. If I pull up Market Cipher real quick. Pull up the daily. Yeah, daily VWAP rolling over a little bit. So, yeah, that is what I would look for. And, yeah, so locally, these are your levels locally if you want to take a screenshot of those, Corey. And then if you lose that level, next key level to the downside is this weekly naked point of control sitting at about 5047. And then the ones below as well. You could just see those on the side of the screen if you want to screenshot them. But those are the levels I would look at, brother. Yeah, hard to kind of pick a direction here. Money flow on the lower time frames looks similar to everything else. 2-hour money flow crossover into the green. So again, continue up this zone, continue down locally this zone, lose that. Probably coming down to these lower naked points of control, weekly naked points of control below. So there you go. And with all that being said, I think that's all the time I got for tonight's live stream. I will see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. Thanks for being here. See you next time. Frank Candles out. Bing bong!
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy.